he doesn't dedicate too much time to SMB3. He has a very strong PB in Warpless and also a pretty good one in 100%. So Louis is definitely gonna be a prominent threat for everyone in this tournament. And here we're about to enjoy a pretty good match, I would say. So let's see. Looks like begin.
Yes, so as you just mentioned, Louis' PB in this category, very strong, 53 minutes and 16 seconds. You're talking like a top 15 time. So Louis taking a very unfortunate hit there.
Ooh.
1-1.
Yeah, the first level is not as easy as it seems. It's really, the jump is pretty precise. And especially if you're not still very confident with all the race settings, all the race setup, I mean, you still have to
Okay, so we see Cap pick up a power up there, losing it earlier on.
I was telling, if you're not feeling really confident, especially at the very beginning, that jump can cause you a lot of troubles. But luckily for Louis, the backup is not too. I mean, it's pretty easy. I mean, you can grab the mushroom here in the fortress and still go off with the standard strats. It's not a big of a deal. Ooh, MrCab will miss the P-speed strat here. Now he has to recharge the bar again, so it's gonna probably lose 6-7 seconds. Not a very big loss, but now it's definitely behind. And
yeah, thanks for that, Walk. So Cole mentioned earlier about previous tournaments. Louis has a very good record in tournaments. Very recently coming in second in our tournament on Sunday. Then the one before that he just won. So could be expected to go far in this.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the point is if you already start with a strong time in the tournament and then you start grinding solely for the purpose of being competitive in the tournament, if you have a gap between other strong players, you can definitely quickly catch up. So if Louis decides to grind a lot here, I think he may reach a very good result. I mean, also it's number 9 or 8 in the seed, which is a pretty strong placement in the bracket. So it definitely has the potential to do very good.
I'd mentioned earlier that I was very surprised at the skill level in this tournament. It's rare that you would see the top half of runners all being absolutely incredible. All very good times.
Yes, and also we have also to mention that there are many runners that join the tournament. They may not start with probably the best time, may have probably for the seedings, but then they start grinding and start getting better. And also, all these kind of players can become very dangerous for everyone, including top runners. So this kind of tournament can definitely be incredibly interesting because we have already strong players that we already know that they are strong. We already know that they are going to be competitive. But on the other hand, we have a lot. On the other hand, we have a lot of other maybe less known players that start learning the game just for the tournament and reach incredible levels. And I see a lot these are happening a lot of times even in other games. So
very nice fire kill for Louis there.
Yeah, pretty clean fight. He got a pretty good part. And I mean, for the Larry fight, as long as Larry doesn't jump at the beginning and he hopefully gets stuck in the corner, the fight is usually gonna be very fast and pretty manageable. If you are unlucky and Larry starts jumping right from the start, you may have some troubles, but the usual backup is just to bounce over him, make him stop, and just mashing the fire button and to land all this 10 shots you need to kill Larry. Louis is ahead, entering the World 2. Pretty smooth 2-1, nothing to say about this execution, whereas MrCab is about to start World 2. Let's see how MrCab manages this level. He keeps the P-speed. If you bounce over this blocks, you actually can keep the P-speed. He uses a slightly safer strat, but he definitely works because he crossed the level without any difficulty, while still keeping the fire flower. Keeping the fire flower as much as possible is really important in this run.
Yeah, they're going to be hoping to keep on to the fire flower until at least fourth. I mean, they're going to hope to keep it the whole time, of course, but Bim fight coming up in Fortress. No fire flowers between 2-1 and 4 either. Also, on the right-hand side, we are going to see a lot of safety strats from Cav, compared to probably be attempting P-speed in most levels.
Yes, we got pretty early P-speed in the Desert Fortress, which is amazing. It's not easy at all, so very nicely done for Louis. And MrCab decides to take a star here, which is also I would say it's a smart move.
Yeah, that's interesting. I haven't seen that before. Good way to get P-speed. I've never seen that before. It's a good way to get P-speed, I guess.
It's a backup strat you can do. I mean, the star can be a pretty useful tool to make some strats simpler in many different places, and this is definitely one of those. I've seen also some runners damage boosting here to get the P-speed, damage boosting through the dry bones to get the P-speed, and I've seen this mostly when you try to go for the early hammer, because if you already know that you are going to die in the upcoming level, hoping that for the hammer brothers carrying the hammer to crossing the desert level and the third scenario, so that you can actually use the hammer to break the block on the south of the map and skipping 3 levels basically. None of the runners are going to even try this strat. It's super rare, I mean, but we will see if we are going to see some early hammering throughout the tournament. It would be interesting. I will say that Louis' run is pretty smooth right now, whereas MrCab takes a hit from the sun. The sun can be really unpredictable sometimes, and it can really catch you off guard many times here. MrCab has to decide where to go, if going north or south. He probably watched which hammer brother has the hammer, and from there he decides his next move. It looks like going north was definitely the right choice, because the hammer brother in the upper part of the map had indeed the hammer, so good job. And Louis is doing a pretty clean work too. He pulled off all the strategies with basically no issue at all. Very nicely done. We want to be very evil. This is the very first slight mistake Louis did, but overall pretty impressive work too from Louis.
Yeah, that 2-4 was really nice. Cap just heading into the pyramid here as well. I'm going to even make a call here and say that he's going to grab this leaf. Yeah, does go for the leaf.
Yes, it's a smart choice. I mean, if you are not really confident doing all this strat with the Buzzy Beetle, this is definitely a smart move, because here he damage boost, so definitely a smart backup here. If you are not confident of keeping the P-speed throughout the walls, I think this is still faster than just failing the standard strat, so I think that's a smart move from MrCab.
Yeah, I think
MrCab is not too behind.
Yeah, I think damage fisting there is a good idea, because obviously P-speed and the tail don't really mix too well. As soon as you jump, your speed is going to really start to diminish. And then that last section is a lot easier with maintaining P-speed.
Yes. I would like to talk about auto-scrollers, because auto-scrollers in this game are pretty much dominant part of the whole of the run. We have more than 10 auto-scrollers. I think there are 11 or 12 auto-scrollers, counting all the levels in World 8. In auto-scrollers level, especially in races, can be very dangerous, because in this level you are nothing to save. You can only lose time. and sometimes it's even worse, you can use your power-ups. And you also to deal with nerfs, because you're on a race, you're racing in front of a lot of viewers, and maybe doing here a mistake where basically nothing is happening, you don't have to pull off any strat. Strats can be pretty difficult to handle. So auto-scrollers may seem easy and not threatening, but believe me, auto-scrollers are very stressful to handle for runners. At least this holds for me, and I think it holds for...
So having commentated both of the feeder matches to Seed 1 and Seed 2, auto-scrollers ended up being a big part of it, and seeing sort of more casual players battle back and forth and going into those fights as Small Mario, incredibly dangerous. Hopefully we won't see that this match.
Yes, definitely. And also, the Fire Flower generally makes auto-scrollers and some fights faster, so you don't really want to take hits and especially use the fire. Louis is using the safe strats here in 3-2. That hopefully for him. Ouch! I was about to say, hopefully for him, cheap hitbox is gonna be good for him, but in that moment he got hit, so it's not a big deal. You can recover a Fire Flower in the next level. But it's still pretty annoying every time.
I'm sort of getting flashbacks to the GDQ race. I was wondering if Louis was going to go down for that bottom Fire Flower, but that can be pretty tricky, and I'm not even sure just that's the best one to get.
There are some movements you can do at the beginning to get P-speed, using the fact that the lift is moving towards left. That can help you out getting more P-speed than usual when you reach the donut lifts. The donut platform, you basically have the P-speed already set up, and you can just fly over the.
That was a really nice backup 3-3 from Louis, and Cab is actually keeping us very close. That 3-2 went pretty well as well.
Yeah, definitely. Cab kept the Fire Flower, and if he gets a clean 3-3, he may save some times compared to Mr. Louis. In the moment, I think Cab was the better, whether not using or not that P-speed. He spent a couple of seconds in the middle trying to decide what to do, and in the end he opted to use the P-speed, which is indeed a smart choice. I mean, with the P-switch you can build again P-speed. So overall,
what is happening with these Hammer Bros for Cab? My word! And that was sort of at the time I was going to mention World 3 as well. Basically, with these bridges going up and down, you have exactly the right amount of stages and Hammer Bros, assuming you don't die, and you don't want any of those Hammer Bros to go up to the top right-hand side. But wow, that was really unlucky for Cab. And both just getting caught on each other.
Yeah, if that happens, you have to basically take an additional death just to make the bridge, let the bridge down, so that you can actually jump from World 6 to 6th level to level 8. But
these Hammer Bros have been horrible.
Yeah, without the Fire Flower, Hammer Bros can be tricky. When there's the water, actually, you don't really want to be small.
Oh wow! That's our first one. Oh, and that is like the worst place to die as well. I'm just realizing, my god, Cab was a very good opportunity here.
Yeah.
Cab
That's really rough, because now he doesn't have another cloud. It means that he has to play level 6, then level 7, then doing the Water Fortress, and then he can try again 3-8. That's really unfortunate for Louis, but luckily for Louis is also a 100% runner, so he knows how to handle these levels. So it should not be too bad. He should not lose too much time, but for sure this is for him. And on one side it's very bad for Louis, on the other side this would keep the race very open to any outcome at this point. So we're definitely gonna have some fun here. I wonder if MrCab is watching the stream, so actually he knows that. Oh no! Oh. And
Oh my.
This is even worse. This is even worse. Dying at the end with that auto scroller. Now he has to do it again from the beginning. That 3-6 is a very straightforward level apart from the last jump. The last jump is really hard. Last jump is really hard.
So you'd mentioned earlier there, is Cab watching the restream or keeping track of Bluey? I'm going to make a call and say that he probably is. Whenever Cab's racing, he's a very calculated racer, likes to make good decisions in races, and a lot of those decisions will come from knowing, am I ahead or not? So with Cab being ahead here, he's got quite a good opportunity. This is definitely a big blessing.
Yes. And the Cab is probably going to be, after 4-3, Cab's probably going to be 2 or 3 minutes ahead. 2 or 3 minutes ahead, which is actually a lot. And this means that Louis has to play definitely his best Mario 3 if he wants to catch up. Hopefully here Louis is gonna use a safer strat as now. Yeah, as I mentioned before, 3-6 is a very easy level, apart from the last jump. The last jump can be very tricky, especially if you try to use a very risky strat, as Louis did. Now Louis is realizing that he has to play all the levels. I don't know what's trying. Oh, okay, I see. Okay. Oh, apparently you only have to play 3-6 because yes. Once the 6 scenario is unlocked, you can actually cross the bridge if it's down. So basically, you only need to take an intentional death in 3-7 to make the bridge available, so that you can directly jump from 3-6 to 3-8. And so definitely Louis is gonna be 2 levels behind now. He's behind, but SMB3 is a long game, so everything can happen. Everything can definitely happen.
I would say balancing this run and taking handicapping into account, this is probably still very even. I think Louis is going to have some opportunities later on, but if Cab keeps playing well, very good chance here. And actually noticing in chat as well, noticing Stewie Cartman, the winner of this goes on to play Stewie, and if Louis wins, we're talking about a difference of 5 seconds between PBs. It's Stewie with a very impressive time of 53 minutes and 11 seconds, so that's going to be one match to watch.
Oh, definitely. The winner, yeah, definitely. We are actually watching the match that will which is paired with Stewie Cartman, top 16 round. So the winner of this is gonna face Stewie Cartman. So Stewie, which is here in chat, is definitely very interested in the final outcome of this match. Whereas Louis is starting the War 3 airship, MrCab is starting War 4. War 4, there's only one rule in War 4, don't lose your flower. Because the next flower you can get is in the fortress. So very far ahead from here. And if you lose the 5th flower, you're not gonna get another one until very late War 4. So definitely need to pay a lot of attention here.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing about the Wendy fight as well, is many times it just ends up being easier to do the fire kill. And unfortunately in that race yesterday, we saw both runners die to Wendy, and then the ship was just everywhere. It was horrible.
Ooh. Let's see how Louis managed Wendy to 6-8.
Yeah, it looks good to me.
Jumps over her, and he blows the last 2 shots. So nicely done from Louis. So and then by the time Louis is entering War 4, MrCab should be in War in 4-3. So pretty much 3 levels of difference. It decides to play slightly safe here. That jump can be very dangerous. It's pretty precise. So if you don't really feel it, this is a smart choice. But Louis is probably gonna do 4-3 full speed. So this is definitely a place where Louis can can catch up a little bit compared to MrCab, but I don't blame MrCab, especially if he knows that Louis is so behind. I definitely don't blame him taking safe routes here.
Yeah, 4-3 is a very tough level and very impressive level to do with full P speed as well.
Yes.
Again, as you mentioned, I think we're probably going to see Louis approach it that way.
Yes. Especially the first jump and the last jump are very tough, very hard to do. But I think that 4-3 is one of the most satisfying level to learn. 4-4 is instead another important level. Cap decides to not to do the second bonk on the.
Wow, Sniper Lock is getting
Lakitu,
very close there.
He tried to kill the Lakitu
my
with fire. First time he missed it. At that point he was in a very bad spot, but somehow managed to dodge all the spikes.
Yeah, those Spinies, like definitely like 2 or 3 were very close. And we're seeing this 4-3 from Louis. Hopefully he can continue this.
Yes. The next jump is gonna be very important. Okay, nice. So okay,
That's
nice. Nicely done
very
from
good.
Louis. Nicely done from Louis. MrCab is deciding not to use the music box here to avoid the Hammer Brothers. I think he really wants the extra P-Wing and the extra star. I believe for other levels
I'm just trying to remember, did
parts
either
of
of them
the-
have the extra music box from World 2? I think they both skipped it, didn't they?
Yes, they both skip the music box in World 2. They should have the music box from World 3, so they have both one music box. And I think Louis is gonna use the box here to put those 2 Hammer Brothers to sleep and hopefully skip them, or at least one of them.
Yeah, so already we're seeing our runners start to converge. Louis, again, having a very, very nice set of levels. This
Yes.
World 4 has been very nice.
Yes, now Louis is definitely behind Hammer Brothers and level 6. And indeed Louis used the music box to put those Hammer Brothers to sleep. Whereas MrCab decided to fight both. And this is definitely another spot where Louis can save time. Definitely gonna save time here.
Absolutely beautiful 4-6. Couldn't ask for much better than that with those strats. Very good.
Actually, I haven't seen if he... Oh, by the way, MrCab is here in chat, so he definitely knows where Mr. Louis is. Ooh, P-Speed here in the fortress. Very nice. Very nice. This is hard. This is an hard P-Speed to get. Very nice from Louis. Absolutely amazing World 4 from Louis. And now we have a race again.
Yeah,
So
Louis
that
has
is,
been
sorry,
constantly soaking up that time loss. Very nice.
So the Hammer Brothers decides to go south, so no troubles. I mean, if the Hammer Brothers there goes left, you can still skip it by moving left and exact frame exactly after the map scroll towards the left. In that way, you can actually skip the Hammer Brother fight. But you didn't need to pull off this story because the Hammer Brothers simply decide to, you know what, I'm going south, so you're free to go. No issues at all, whatever. So looks like even Louis is in chat. Oh, okay, now, of course, now this is a very slow auto-scroller which doesn't really have big threats until the very end, I would say. So here in chat we have both MrCab and Louis chatting with our viewers, which is definitely nice. And indeed here you can definitely chill until the very end. I mean, the last flamethrower are set in a very tricky way, but you can either do a very long jump here to skip all that mess below. So all good for MrCab, and Louis is approaching that soon. I believe there's around 1 minute, maybe 1 minute and a half between the two runners. So this is definitely a close race.
Fire kill
hard
of the
to see
World 4 boss is very, very tough. So Cab just going for the 3 hits.
Yeah, I play safe here. Let's see if Louis decides to go for the Iggy fire kill. Chat is saying that maybe everything can come down to the hands. Yes, as they are indeed at 0 hands versus a 3 hands, can definitely put this race, can definitely put the bot runners tied up. So yeah, that's definitely, yeah, definitely 1 minute apart. So yeah, more or less, this is more or less the time swing that hands have. So yes.
Yeah, you're most definitely going to see Hans and RNG decide a lot more of the closer races. Again, if it's very close going into World 8, it probably will have some sort of a say. But Cab holding onto that lead, getting a bit of luck in World 3 against Louis, unfortunately. Luck as in a couple of unfortunate deaths.
Louis got eaten by the boss bus, by the mighty boss bus. Ooh, let's see what Louis decides to do here. He plays safe. I don't blame anyone playing safe 5-2, because if you fall down there, you are going to lose an incredible amount of time. It definitely can be, for sure, undead if you're doing PB attempts. Probably gonna be also race over if you're on a race. Because if you fall down there, it's a disaster. Let's see if Louis decides to risk that. He may definitely, yeah. He decides to play safe as well. Even though he still managed to pull off a very cool strat using bonking on the Koopa. But it's definitely a smarter strat than the standard one. I cannot blame him as well, especially after what happened to him in 3-8. So definitely a smart choice. And Louis is definitely getting closer and closer now, because there's only one level between the runners.
For
I haven't
sure.
really kept track of the other brothers. Let's see if this one has the P-Wing.
Oh, I thought that was the P-Wing as well. I didn't notice.
Is the wrong Hammer brother, so MrCab is gonna have for sure a next Hammer brother. And luckily for him, the other Hammer brother decided to go south and not going left, because if he went left, he would have done the entire trip throughout the whole map. That would have been very, very deadly. Strats here from...
Okay, so Louis is going to be hoping that this Hammer Bro is up. And it goes up, so with that, Louis making a bit more time back with RNG as well.
Now we are definitely tied, because MrCab decided to use the star here, but he cannot enter into vertical pipe if you have the star. So he definitely lost even more time. And now we are basically tied, because Louis is doing the tower. He kept the P-speed throughout the first two floors. He dropped the P-speed as long as he reached the third one. But now the two runners are one screen apart. Let's have a look also the score and the coin amounts, because for Louis, coin ship is not a problem. It's no longer a problem since he skipped a number brother in the ground side of the War 5, but MrCab did not, so Kyle has to pay attention to also make
Very
sure
nice.
that
5-4 from Louis.
last Hammer brother doesn't turn into a coin ship. And Louis got a clean 5-4. 5-4 is a very tricky level. Very tricky level. So nicely done. And now the two runners are tied.
Yeah, I was going to suggest that 5-4 would probably make the difference. And with that, it looks like we have Louis in the lead again.
Yeah, Louis takes the lead right now. What? Decide to play safe. 5-5. Louis probably tried to pull off the P-speed strat, but he failed. And whereas MrCab decided to take the leaf and just going through the level full safety.
Damn, Louis is on full form again, and pretty much other than that one sort of domino effect that death caused, this has been such a strong run.
Yeah, definitely. Louis he's playing amazingly well. Playing amazing. He did a very strong War 4, very strong War 2. He had that fortunate death in 3-8 because boss pass in the worst was in the worst absolutely place he could ever be in that moment. But yeah, as you can see, another clean fortress from Louis. MrCab decides not to use P-Speed here, so definitely he's gonna lose a bit of time here. MrCab may try to actually skip his Hammer Brothers up there, because he already has a music box, and I think he decided to skip that's why he probably decided not to use the music box in World 4, because he wanted the extra star and the extra P-Wings for other levels, maybe 7-2 or levels that he doesn't really feel confident with and prefers to use a P-Wing. And say, you know what, I'm gonna not use the music box there, and then I'm gonna try to skip the Hammer Brother in War 5, because I already had the music box needed in War 7. And now there's the sync. Look at this sync, guys.
The sync is incredible.
They are definitely synced right now. MrCab probably is slightly ahead. He gained the lead, he took the lead back, because he skipped the last Hammer Brother in War 5, whereas we had to fight him. Because we want to have a music box approaching War 7, we need it. Because we want to put asleep the last plant before the airship. That's why we want it. But now enjoy the incredibly synced War 5 airship. As long as no one takes a hit, you're definitely gonna see almost perfect sync between the two. This is not really an airship you can relax. There's a lot going on. MrCab decides to use a cannonball and reach the top part of the level, because it's definitely safer. You want to stay up there. You don't want to go down. There's too much stuff going on. It's too easy losing the power up. Even though losing the power up here is not too bad. Is Louis trying to go for the fire kill? Oh no, it took a hit. The hitbox sometimes is really tricky. It's not that bad though. It's not that bad.
So another reminder, everybody, that the winner of this match goes on to play Stewie Cartman. Stewie Cartman has a PB of 53 minutes and 11 seconds, only 5 seconds better than Louis.
Wow.
Definitely looking forward to that match.
Assuming that Louis wins, of course. Louis has still to win.
I'm looking forward to the match regardless of who wins.
Yeah. Yeah, if Louis wins, we're gonna have a very close match. Between runners having a very, very close PB. War 6, the longest level of the game. But we're gonna basically skip the entire first third by just using the hammer to break that rock. Louis doesn't have the fire flower. He lost the fire flower against Roy.
Yeah, Louis trying to make sure that he doesn't lose that extra power up, wanting to have at least a bit of a damage boost coming up here.
Yeah, he probably wants to take this leaf. Yeah, he takes the leaf because it's actually very, very difficult to. If you have the mushroom, it's actually very, very difficult to decide when it's time to start getting damage from the spikes. And if you run, Louis!
Oh, Louis!
I've lost the star. I decide to go back, get the star, but this is gonna make him lose a lot of time because now he cannot definitely kill the Boom Boom with the star. He has to do the fight as intended by Nintendo.
Have to say that was a very nicely reacted from Louis. That Boom Boom, pretty tough without the star, especially when he starts flying around.
Yes, and this is 6-4. This is the only level of the run that we actually going to do a small Mario intentionally, because we actually get rid of all power-ups in the previous fortress. I also almost got P-Speed in 6-4, which is one of the hardest P-Speed to get here in the game. And he almost got it. MrCab decides to use a slightly safer strat here. Because what one usually wants to do is so Louis does the same strat. Basically, so actually you can despawn one of the white plants even that way. I'm learning a new strat, guys. I wasn't aware that you could have done that. Alright, I guess it works. So basically what you want to do there is to make sure that only one plant spawns, that you don't need to carry on the shell up to the pipe in order to get rid of the plants and opening the path by breaking the blocks.
Well, Louis gonna get a good RNG regardless here. That extra hammer brew moving out of the way, so Cab again getting pretty unlucky with hammer brews.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that was interesting, I believe.
Louis definitely managed to skip the last hammer brother, which has a star. This Louis had now has an extra star, but he definitely lost time because of that extra hammer brother. Sorry. Cab is fighting Boom Boom. So now Louis took back the lead because of that hammer brother that MrCab had to fight. And usually you don't really want to fight also that hammer brother as well. I don't think Cab is gonna do P-strat here because he has a leaf. So yeah, decided to play safe. Whereas Louis is doing P-speed strats, so definitely gonna.
Also takes the damage boost at the end. Will be using a P-wing going into 6-9, so power-ups aren't an issue. 6-8.
Louis decides to use a P-wing and not doing swag wall jump strats. That here. I mean, you don't really need to do wall jumps in 6-9. Unless you desperately want, unless you had to use an extra P-wing earlier, or you are out of P-wings. Otherwise, there's no reason for that.
Very nice 6-4-2 for Louis. Louis is going to be building P-speed in this room in order to carry it on to the next. Very optimal.
Ooh, wow! Enter the door very, very early. I wasn't aware you can enter that door so early.
I honestly thought he was going to miss it as well. It was very, very early.
Wow, that's definitely, it may seem a small stuff, but actually, you can say, also MrCab managed to enter the door so early. Alright. Definitely gonna note down this for my next runs. You can enter so early in the door. Good to know. And now Louis is entering the 6th airship of the game. Now this is a very, very delicate moment of round.
Yeah,
because this is an easy airship. This is an easy airship. The Lemmy fight is also relatively easy, but you cannot really afford to lose the mushroom here, because if you do, you can no longer do the 7-1 clip, which we are going to see soon. Meaning that you cannot skip 7-1, you have to do it from the beginning to the end. This means basically 2 minutes loss. 2 minutes loss.
One thing that you possibly could do if clip wasn't on the table, you could opt to skip that level instead of 7-9 or 7-4-2 or wherever the runners decide to use it. Or somehow if the runners have an extra B-wing, they could go for a really, really tough clip with B-wing. Or if they use it, they could go into the pipe, then come back to 7-1. It's still pretty hard with just ordinary tail, but there are some options.
MrCab decides to play safe. Probably what he wants is gonna do is to fight Lemmy. Then when he lands 2 hits, damage is gonna get 1 hit so that you finish the fight as standard Mario, so that you can actually do the clip, because as Raccoon Mario you cannot do the clip. Oh, but he apparently forgot to do that, and that's bad for him. That's really bad for him. Because now you can no longer do the clip, or I mean,
well, I'm pretty sure it's possible to do it with.
It's possible, yeah, but I think it's much harder because it's
It
mess
is
up
a
with
lot
your
harder.
speed. It's mess up with your speed, and actually hitting a sub-pixel with the leaf is harder. How many attempts for Louis? So this is already the third.
That was the fifth.
This is the fifth. The sixth attempt. Yeah, also chat is pointing out that you can actually do the clip even though it's harder. So good to know. Okay, right. You can definitely. Okay, that clip you can definitely do that. You cannot do the clip that uses crowd jumping, but you can definitely do that, I think.
Yeah, it's why one of the other options, I think that was actually 6th try for both of them, it's why one of the options could be, if you used a P-Wing, go into the pipe just to the right and then come back. If you were Small Mario, it's one of the options.
Good to know. I'm not aware of what is backup. I definitely need to study more this part. But he managed to beat 7-1 pretty cleanly. And here Louis is gonna save more time, because if you don't do this star strat here in 7-2, oh, never mind. He just flies over the pit, so that works as well. I believe that this is a really.
Aha! That's why Cap kept his tail. And funny enough, I would use a P-Wing before 7-2 as well, because normally you can hold on to it until 7-4-1, negating the need to use a P-Wing, so it's interesting. Big shoutouts to Cap there.
Yeah,
I was confused.
This is a definitely very, very cool. I would like to call it, even though calling it safe strat is probably not the right term, but it's definitely a smart strat. Definitely a smart strat for him, especially if you are not confident at doing the standard strat in 7-2. Especially because if you fail it, you lose a lot of time. You lose definitely a lot of time, because at that point you have to build up the whole bridge, because you cannot cross the long gap between the two pipes. So you have to go down, building up the bridge by making those note blocks appearing. Then you have to go down in the water, go up from another pipe, and then cross the gap, and it takes too much time. But if you do that, no threat, no difficulties. I mean.
Yeah, wait.
What's I believe that
I got
didn't use
confused
the
there.
P-Wing?
I got confused there. It's all
I
good
think
there.
that Cab here did not use the P-Wing. Here in the fortress, and just decide to build up P-Speed. I think that's what you do in 100%. I mean, that's what it was done in 100% when I ran it. So over than 1 year ago. In the meantime, strat may have changed. But I remember that when I was running Hando, I used that strat. Therefore, wasn't using the P-Wing. Amazing 7-8 from Louis in the meantime. Very clean. He also managed to keep the mushroom, which is not an easy task. And now it's another delicate part of the run.
Yeah.
Here is another level you really don't want to die. Because if you die here, you have to do 7-9 as well. Louis knows that. My god. That jump was...
Yeah, very well done from Louis.
But that was scary, because I expected at some point him to jump, and he didn't. It looked like he actually missed that jump. So I was really worried, but instead he managed to recover up pretty greatly. So
that's pretty funny. I actually thought Cab was going for that hammer sit there for a second.
Yeah, me too. If you enter into the pipe, usually you want to. But you know what? I think that MrCab really wants this P-Wing, this leaf, for the fortress. Because actually the fortress with the leaf is actually definitely easier. So I guess... Oh,
yeah, we're actually seeing MrCab go for 7-9, possibly will deduce the cloud for 7-4-2. Would be one of the options.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's definitely. Yeah, I think that this is an intentional damage boost. So yeah, I think he's gonna use the cloud in the next level, or he may do an even more risky strat and keeping the cloud for the fortress in World 8. It's something you can do, but it's super risky because at that point, you basically the last flower you get is in 8-1, and from there you can no longer take a hit, including 8-1 and 8-2.
I'm going to say that he'll definitely use his cloud here though. Pretty much unless you're getting optimal P speed through 742, using it on 841 is going to be a time loss. 841 being fairly easy to do with full P speed.
Yeah. In the end, he decided to use the cloud here for this fortress, so even though now he has to pay attention not to die here, because otherwise he may be... I mean, this is also for Louis as well, because if they die, the airship can fly over the whole stage.
Well, that's the one bonus about using the cloud for 742. If you do happen to die in this airship, you're probably not going to have to do extra levels unless it goes behind 4. Thankfully, not having to do 742 again could be... Yeah, Cab is a really good place. I would suggest that he probably is ahead of TV at the moment.
Yeah, this seems like a 56... Ooh, Louis is not having too much luck with these earth-shaking Koopa Links.
Oh no, Louis! Louis had
because he already took hit from Roy. And what happened? Why is not...
Louis had to answer the door.
Oh. Okay. So someone visiting Louis may...
Louis is ahead.
Makes Louis losing a bit, but not too much. Alright. That's good that both runners are actually here in chat, so that can actually answer directly to us to some place or stuff. Or by the way, I think it's almost time to introduce the new end game. I don't know if this is already implemented or...
Yeah, it is. Go ahead.
Oh, you're right. So I let you the honor to introduce this new happy little game we are going to introduce for our races from now on. I'll give you the honor.
Okay, fair enough. So yes, we have a new guessing game. Well, it's not very new. Oftentimes, whenever runners are going into the second part of this world, people will be guessing in chat how many hands they'll be getting. Basically, what that means is there are 3 squares, and you have a 50% chance of having to do that level where the hand will pull you into the level. So getting 0 hands, that's a 1 in 8 chance. Getting all 3 hands, also a 1 in 8 chance, and then either getting 1 or 2 or both 3 in 8 chances. So we're able to do that in chat with a new feature. Thank you very much again, Speed Gaming, for constant innovations. Actually, I just missed there. Did Louis attempt to go for that fire flower, or did he go on without it?
I think he lost the fire flower against Ludwig. So that's why Louis doesn't have a fire flower right now.
I'm gonna guess 1 hand for both.
I mean, it's safe saying 1 or 2 hands because those are the most likely outcomes. I want to be evil. 3 hands for both. I want to be very...
1 in 64 chance?
Yeah, it's really rare.
I didn't actually point out, but even though 3 hands is typically the most you're going to see, it is possible to get more. It would be possible to get a hand, die, and then get 3 hands.
Yes. There can be scenarios where runners can have 4 hands. For instance, they die 2 times on the first one, and then they got also the other 2. So those are gonna be 4 hands in total. So
if we're talking total hands here, I'm gonna say 3. I'm gonna go right down the middle.
I'm gonna stick with my evil prediction. I'm gonna say 6. I don't really want both of them. I want our runners getting the same number of hands and possibly the very same hands, so that we don't have this RNG factor into account, and so the remaining of the run is only based on execution and not RNG. But let's see. I think Louis is quite close to finishing this level, so the moment is very close. So prepare your predictions and let's see what happens. I mean, this airship, I mean, this is not really an airship. This is a ship. It's is in a lava lake, I guess. And all right, here we go. As long as Louis enters that exit that pipe, we're gonna say how many hands he's gonna have.
Ooh. Oh my word.
Ouch, there's one. And this is actually the worst hand you can get because among the 3, this is the longest level.
Not only is it the longest, but it's arguably the toughest as well.
Yeah, it's definitely the toughest because there are all the different Ember Brothers pieces. Oh my god, 2 out of 3. Oh my god. Did I just curse both runners with my evil prediction?
Well, you have a 1 in 16 chance of being correct now. Louis with the Amoeba W in chat, possibly getting a 3rd hand. Oh my word.
No, my god. I'm sorry, Louis.
Well,
oops.
Cab has to get no hands for me to be correct now, and I'm feeling pretty confident about it, I'll be honest. 0 hands, easy peasy. Every time, let's go.
I really want... We want to be even more evil!
No way,
Oh,
dude.
MrCab got the first hand. Alright.
Well, from this point, 25% of the time you're going to be correct about your double 3 hands, my word.
Yep. Fast ship for Louis. Very trick. Ooh, that dodge. Usually, if you play aggressive here, okay, just 2. Oh, I got close though. I got really close. But MrCab is gonna save time. Not too much because he skipped the shortest level. So he's not gonna save too much, but he's definitely gonna save time. Because he had to play one level less.
Well, Adrian at Gas 5. Congrats to Adrian. I think that was the only Gas of 5 hands shot.
In the meantime, Louis finished the Air Force level pretty nicely. This is a tricky level. Oh, and instead MrCab wasn't able to actually crouch before the wrench. The rocket wrench throw the wrench.
I don't believe Cab picked up a hammer sit in World 6.
It was with the commentator. I'm sorry guys, I'm an evil guy. I mean, my really hope is that both players got the same number of hands. It seems that Louis got hit in 8-1.
8-1, a notoriously difficult level. And actually, the current world record for 100% has a death in 8-1. Probably about the only thing that went wrong in that run.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. It's definitely a tricky one. The beginning with all the piranha plants, you have to basically manipulate them to make sure they shoot their fireballs up and not down, so that you can actually go straight. And then the P-speed is somewhat tricky because you have to basically get the P-speed while crouching on the tiny gap. So it's definitely a hard level. Okay, the sun.
Angry Sun not being very nice. I imagine Louis is going to use one of his leaves here. Leaves.
Yes, that's definitely a strike.
Don't use the warp whistle. That was close, my dude.
I agree, that was close. That was close. Right, here using if you have the leaf here, you have to use it. Possibly a star.
No.
Oh no, there's still a backup. It's not that bad. There's still a backup. He can grab a flower in the P room. He has to use 2 P switch cycles So he's gonna lose time, but it's fine. He will have the... Okay, now he can open this P-switch and enter into this door. We have this flower, and from there it's basically standard. Oh,
And a very
sounds
nice
bad.
from Louis.
Sounds vague
Big,
here.
big shoutouts.
This is a SWAT strat. I mean, you don't really need it because after at the end of the day, you still have to
Right.
wait for the PSP to run out. But it's
Let's
a cool
see.
strat.
Let's see. Will we see a one cycle of? Oh, Cab's having a bit of trouble grabbing that flower.
Please
But
grab
I
the flower.
reckon we've a good chance of seeing a one cycle from Cab here.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. You may save some time. Now the last tank ship. This level is meant to be hard, but in reality, if you just stay on the right of the screen and keep shooting, mining to actually jumping over all the cannons, you're fine.
Well done, Cab.
You're
Very
never
nice.
gonna get hit. It only works on NES, you say. Okay. Oh, maybe, probably referring to the previous clip.
So a very nice sport from MrCab there,
Yes.
making up a bit of time against Louis.
Louis has to pay attention because for Louis, keeping the 5 flower at this point is vital. Because I think that the gap between the two runners now is pretty much equal to the time you need to kill Bowser with the regular strat, not with the 5 flower.
It definitely could make the difference. Also, everybody, just a reminder that Mr. PB is at 59 minutes and 55
Ooh.
seconds. So
Ooh.
we're very, very close here to seeing a PB.
I also think that MrCab is doing a deathless run right now. Is it correct? I don't think he died once.
That sounds right to me. I don't seem to remember anything.
Let's see if Louis tries to go. Oh, he doesn't go for that clip. I expected him to do that clip at that point, but I don't blame him.
Yeah, so Louis had to delay a bit in the stairs there after bonking, otherwise would have got hit by one of those
Yes.
pancakes of doom. I forget what you call those.
I don't know what they name. I think they're just called waffles because they remind waffles, but I don't know. Alright, Louis is about to face Bowser. 30 hits, I believe. You can just chill there and jumping, but then when you see Bowser charging at you, you have to crouch, move to the right, and then finishing him. And Louis, with this clean Bowser fight, secure his spot in the top 8 match against Stevie Cartman. GG to Louis. He was the winner, despite all the troubles he had of this race. So I want to see a lot of GGs in chat for Louis. Great race, considering all the troubles he had. He managed to stay calm, and not to tilt, and keep a very high like SMB3 level, and that secure him the victory of this match. But also shout out to MrCab is probably gonna be less than 1 minute behind.
Yeah, MrCab is just a couple of seconds away from a PB here, about to drop a big time here. This has been very, very impressive. I imagine that going into this, if he knew he could be this close to Louis, he'd be very, very happy with that.
Yeah. Also, you have to mention that MrCab had a lot of ex-Summer Brothers compared to Louis, because I think he did in the meantime. GG's for MrCab55 who finished the race with an SRL time of 58 minutes 34 seconds. This is his race PB, and it's probably his personal best overall. So
Well,
very
yeah.
nicely done from
MrCab just PB'd there by 1 minute and 20 seconds, so obviously it goes without saying that this has been a very, very good run.
Yeah, definitely.
Cab getting a bit unlucky with Hammer Bros, but possibly made that back just about with that one last hand.
Yeah, they pretty much it can be comparable as time saying. So yeah, pretty much the same RNG for both. Yeah, let's see if these maybe both of them wants to have a quick interview.
Yeah, they'll probably be over soon. Well, Louis won't be, but MrCab absolutely no doubt in my mind will be joining us very soon.
Alright.
Another reminder to everybody that Louis could end up going very far in this tournament. We're just after having 2 Super Mario World tournaments, and Louis came in first and second respectively. Also, the tournament he came in second in, he claimed a fresh $200 of prize money.
Ooh, wow.
You, Mr. Cab, big congrats. I mean, that was one hell of a run.
Yeah, that was actually pretty good. Considering like every practice run I've been trying to have lately just ends in tragedy. This was good. I'm happy with this 1.5 PB. A little less than that, but still.
Yeah, just as you say there about most runs ending in tragedy, that does seem to be the case with this category. Just so unforgiving and brutal. But yeah, very well done for keeping this so close against the god Louis. But you played so well.
So, I mean, about that, I didn't see exactly what happened, but I know I looked back and I saw Louis was restarting 3-6, and I was just saying, oh no. So I'm glad that this video can be used as a tutorial one day for why P-Speed is a good thing in Worlds 4, 5, etc., and why you shouldn't fight the wrong Hammer Brothers.
Oh, your Hammer Bro luck was very, very unfortunate.
It was unfortunate, but I also, like, I don't play this game enough to really get into, like, the strats of exactly, like, how to go through the rest of the game. Like, I'm realizing that I'm at a point where I have 2 extra P-Wings towards the end. Granted, one of them should be 7-4-1, and I should stop using a tail in 7-2. But, this is basically just the way I've always played the game, and I'm getting to a point where, okay, I've seen enough, I know enough about how P-Speed really works under the covers. Even if I don't play the game a lot, I know Mario 3 enough just, you know, as a guy in my 30s at this point, who's played this game for who knows how long, to just be able to apply the knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, that's one, like, that was a very impressive 7-1. Pretty tough with tail. That's the thing, though, with extra P-Wings, you possibly could use that for 7-2 and just have an easier clip. But I suppose overall, it's roughly the same.
It kind of works out. And I mean, like, it's harder to get in with the tail. I feel like there's a few of us that still play the game with tails just because that's just what we do. And, like, when you're used to it, like, when you're in practice, you can get that clip with tail easily enough. It's not that bad.
Yeah, that would be one of my potential backup strats, that if I'm going into World 7 as Small Mario, using a P-Wing, taking the pipe to the right, getting rid of the P-Speed, and then just going back with the tail and then doing the clip that way. Although that is requiring you to do that clip pretty quickly for that to be worthwhile.
Yeah, I'm trying to think how fast it is to get through the stage itself with a P-Wing. I think that's still... It's probably like 30 seconds.
Well, I mean, if it's only 30 seconds, then actually doesn't seem that bad.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just one of those things. I'm used to the clip there. I think my only other regret as far as Hammer Brother luck goes, I'm vaguely aware of the new knowledge about which way the Hammer Brothers are facing. I don't know exactly which way it is, and I think Lasso was even in my chat before the race telling me what to do in World 6, and I didn't do it. I could have skipped that, bro. Oh well.
Could you? I thought that Starhammer Bro was just the right of 5-6. I thought you were pretty much...
It was, but you can buffer
of course.
through them when I'm on a map transition.
Yeah, I forgot that was on a seam essentially. Yeah, I've taken down a couple of notes about Hammer Bros in the last couple of days. Just I don't want to be having to deal with that. But
yeah, and of course I've got the 2 hands costing me the 57.
Yeah,
but
I'm sure you know.
Hands, so...
I'm sure you know by now. But yeah, you got 3.
That's the game just trying to make it even for me. I was watching. That's the only reason he got the first hand.
Another thing I would like to add is that you did not use the music box in World 4, and you fought both the Hammer Brothers in the last stretch of World 4. Was that intentional or?
That was intentional.
Intentional, yeah.
Although, I mean, if I could have avoided the Star Bro, I would do that. But I don't think there's a way to specifically tell that one. I know it's like new tech. I'm not familiar with it yet. But
sure
I mean, yeah, that's...
got the face the same direction, or one looks left and the other one looks right.
Yeah.
Not sure about that. Probably they look different direction. I should check. I'm not sure, but definitely hard just to battle the P-Wing Hammer Brother and not fight the Star Hammer Brother there. Definitely
Right.
hard.
And I should really like just go back and time out what is my 8-1 time without a P-Wing, what is my 8-2 time without a P-Wing, and just kind of see, am I wasting time doing that, or is it still just like the best thing for me to do to just in a race situation at this point?
They are tough levels, so I mean, not really. In my opinion, probably if you just use the P-Wing, or just use a leaf, plain leaf without the P-Wing, it just go through 8-1 and 8-2 normally, without doing super fancy speedrun strategies. I think it's still faster. Because at the end of the day, especially in 8-1, you have to climb up a lot, then you have to enter into pipes, and it takes time. So it's probably faster. I'm not sure, but probably fast. It's probably faster just playing straight those levels. That with the leaf, for instance.
Either that, or it might be faster, just like get past the first section with the piranhas and then just go into the stage.
Yeah, definitely. It's probably gonna be, instead if you climb up, you enter the pipe is long to cross. Probably faster just win the level straight. But as for 8-2, using a P-Wing is, I mean, if you don't really feel confident, a P-Wing there, I mean, you can just fly straight through the stage, so pretty much the same there, I think. But
yeah, I mean, it feels really slow, but then the sandpit is also really slow. I don't know. It might be worth looking at one day, where I should just, learn the game.
SMB3, I'm sure you've had a look at the bracket. Do you know who you'll be facing in the second chance bracket?
I've been looking at the bracket because Oglib might have to play a Mega Man game at some point if I can't win the next race. So I've got Raikou Rider.
I think that sounds fair, and yeah, the race between you and Raikou Rider will be pretty close. As I'm sure you're aware, he will be on the Super Famicom. He'll be using the All-Stars version. And I believe that your PV, well, actually not anymore, your PVs aren't close. But I reckon that'll be, it'll be pretty close.
We'll see if I can duplicate this performance or not. Because yeah, if I can start pushing down towards the casual 57.
And actually, as Cole had suggested, maybe was the case earlier, was this a deathless run?
I think it is. I honestly do think most of my Mario 3 runs are deathless. It's just a matter of actually gaining time at this point.
Yeah, of course. Well, do you have any more thoughts on the tournament? Any hot takes on who you think's going to take the whole thing down?
I mean, my prediction's out there. I'm waiting for somebody to upset Mitch, but that's all I've got.
Well, I'll definitely keep an eye out for that. Mitch would be a very, very sane choice for going right to the end of this tourney, but there are other really incredible runners out there.
But Ben, you gotta do one thing for me.
Sure.
You gotta put Oglib in his place.
No problem. Oglib, you heard it here first, but you're going down. You're going south into the second chance bracket.
Wow.
I'll just get a 53 here in the next couple of days, and it'll be fine. But I'll do my best.
Speaking of Mitch,
the game.
Mitch is in the upper part of the bracket, same as Louis and MrCab. So basically, Louis may face Mitch Flower Power not in this round, but in the next one if both wins round 3. Mitch Flower Power and Louis are going to face each other in round 4 actually. So Louis can be it may be one of the opponents for Mitch, assuming he wins round 2 and round 3.
And Supersonic's here in chat, so he's working on things too.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be a good match.
Yeah, people to look out for: Supersonic, Cujo, Chuck. Chuck is an absolutely incredible runner, I believe, winning one of the previous tournaments. Yeah.
Chuck is a veteran of Mario 3. He's really good at Mario 3. So just keep your eyes on Chuck in the bracket. In fact, next round it's gonna be Chuck and Outside Lutz. Or assuming Outside Lutz gets past Rupert and LK.
Oh no. Round 4. And also keep an eye on Orsted. Orsted is another one. And another strong one.
I feel so bad for overlooking Horstad. That is just, it's so obvious. I mean, Horstad, just mind-blowing retro Mario runner. Very good 2D runner.
That 52 is insane in a race setting.
Yeah,
I'm glad we have one in the tournament.
And the problem with that is, if I win my next match, I'm gonna face Horsedead in round 3, so oh my god.
Oh yeah, I see.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I just noticed the bracket there, wow.
Yeah, rematch from the SMB tournament, I guess.
You know why you have to take care. Well, actually, no. I don't know. We'll see. If you take care of Glib, but then can't get past the next round, I get the loser of your winner's next match.
Oh right, I see.
Like myself or Riker Rider.
Just having a quick look. Yeah, I watched Booba in their round 2. Booba performed very well. Just having pretty much 1 or 2 mistakes that cost minutes, as is the Warpless way, I guess. But I hate to break it to you guys, match 11, Uglib versus yours truly, probably won't be that interesting, but we'll see. I've been trying to get better.
Ooh, tough one. It's hard.
Just do everything I did, but do it faster.
That's...
Yeah.
I like that. Sorry, I'm going to write that down here 1 second. Right.
That's a good one.
Fast. Okay. Right. Thank you very much. Also, we had mentioned a billion times in this match that the winner, Louis, will be going on to face Stewie Cartman, so don't miss the Stewie-Louis matchup.
Number 8 in the bracket versus number 9 in the bracket, so it's gonna be good.
Yeah, doesn't get much closer than that. But yeah, thanks everyone for hanging out. Thanks to the races. Thanks to the Speed Gaming team for being awesome as always. It's always so much fun.
Shoutouts to Tech.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for me. And thanks for my co-commentator Cole. Thank you so much. It's been a lot of fun.
Thanks to you, Ben, for the help, and thanks to everyone for watching us. Thanks to Speed Gaming. Also thanks to the hosts of the tournament, Lozo and Overglip. They were still at the beginning, guys. A lot of matches are coming up soon. I want to mention that we're gonna have in around 4 hours another match, 9 PM EDT, Calco 2 against Kerbochin. So another interesting one. So
shout out to the SMW crew.
Yeah, what is it with all these SMW gods, tournament winners? Yeah,
and me.
Calco very recently won the New Cape New Star World tournament. Louis won the New Star World tournament and came 2nd in the 11 exit tournament. So they have one hell of a record between them. And it definitely goes without saying that Louis and Calco are always ready to create an upset. Although Calco will be the favorite in this upcoming match.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, I mean, even though Calco and Louis they're not too far in SMB3 when it comes down to PBs. But...
Alright folks, that's it for me. Take care everybody. Have a good one and enjoy the rest of the matches this evening and the rest of the tourney. Good job, Cab and the PB. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah. Bye guys. Bye everyone. See you next time.